fights me. I don't know which is worse. I might just spill a seam now if I don't die laughing first.
What's this, a trick? I'm not impressed. You're bad and now you're tall. It makes it all the more worthwhile to see a giant fall.
Talk, but I tell you, this giant's going nowhere. If I were you, I'd take a hike. There's danger in the air.
I'm the only Pumpkin King. Well, I'm feeling angry and there's plenty left to do. I fought your most unwelcome help and now I'm after you.
Even if you catch me, you could never do me in. I'm 10 stories high and just as strong, which means I'm gonna win.
I'm the only Pumpkin King. It's over. You're finished. You'll never get away. You, the Seven Holidays King, that'll be the day.
How feeble, how childish. Is that the best you got? You think that you're a hero, Jack, but I think you are not. Whoa! Now it's time for you to see what it really means to scare. 'Cause I'm the gambling boogeyman, although I don't play fair. It's much more fun, I must confess, when lives are on the line. Not mine, of course, but yours, old friend. Now that'd be just fine.
I'm the only Pumpkin King.
spine, cause he was way behind and he was willing to make a deal. When he came across that young boy playing that fiddle hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what, I bet you didn't know if I'm a fiddle player too, and if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play a pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I better fiddle of gold against your soul, cause I think I'm better than you. The boy said, my name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet, you're gonna regret, cause I'm the best that's ever been. Johnny rising up your bow and play that fiddle hard, cause hell's broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. And if you win, you get this shiny fiddle made of gold, but if you lose, the devil gets your soul. The devil opened up his case and he said, I'll stop the show. And fire flew from his fingertips as he risened up his bow. And he pulled that bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. Then a band of demons joined in and shouted something like this.